Hello and welcome to HT's weekly talk show, The Interview, wherein we begin a new series, Reaching Out with HT. In this, we will, from time to time, bring you face to face with known and not so known, but surely interesting people. Inspirational and aspirational stories, fun moments and anecdotes. In other words, a journey through time. In this edition, we speak to BJP's Aparajita Sarangi, a bureaucrat turned politician who has created history by wresting a seat the BJP has never won in the Lok Sabha. Yet she feels that women fight a lone battle in a man's world. Aparajita Sarangi in a freewheeling conversation with HT as it reaches out to her in the new series in HT's weekly talk show, The Interview. Welcome to the show, Aparajita Sarangi, and thank you for being here with us.
My pleasure.
You have often invoked gender and I am a woman plea. Why is it? Don't you think women who have accomplished a great deal need to look beyond gender? Even last year, when you were attacked in Odisha, you said, I am a woman MP and I need protection.
I won't say that whatever I have said about me being a woman and talking about protection and all that, it doesn't mean that I'm apologetic. I'm extremely proud. But the fact remains that it is a man's world. And I have told this many times, several times, and I will keep saying that unless it becomes a world of equals. So we never say that women should be ahead of men or women should be behind men, of course not. But women should walk with men alongside. So I think whatever years I have put in the administration, and I am putting in a lot of years in politics, I think I have always felt that it's a man's world and a woman has to put in double the effort, treble the effort to prove herself. So I think there is always, initially, there is a big question mark on the ability of a woman to deliver.
How many times did you face this personally?
I was sub-collector in one of the subdivisions in Dhenkanal district of Odisha, and my husband is my batchmate. So he was also a sub-collector in the same district in another subdivision. And I remember there was a major fire outbreak in my subdivision once, and the district collector called all the three sub-collectors for a review. And the subject of the review was the fire outbreak in my subdivision. I was quite aghast. I wondered why the other two male sub-collectors, the other two subdivisional magistrates had also been called for the review of my subdivision. Throughout the meeting, the district collector gave me the feeling that he was not very comfortable with my taking control of the situation or my ability to deliver. There was a question mark. I could discern that. And then he told the other two sub-collectors to kind of extend support to me, come to my subdivision and extend support to me in handling that fire outbreak. So that was something which was very shocking for me. I had just entered the service and I didn't know why I was being discriminated against. I used to put in very hard work even then, and I thought that I should prove myself and I have to win the confidence of the district collector. So that was, I would say, the first shock. And there have been many instances all through in the career. But yes, one thing I am sure of, if a woman is good at her job, if she is ready to put in very hard work, if whatever attributes that she has, she utilizes those attributes for the welfare of the people around her, I think the world is hers.
Yet you say women should walk with men. Don't you think it should be the other way around, when men should walk with women?
See, I am a feminist with a difference. I would never say that, women should be very forthright and straightforward and very assertive or aggressive. I would say women should learn to work with everybody, including her husbands and her, say, father-in-law. Her husband and father-in-law. So I think, see, here there is no competition. I think we need to complement each other, supplement each other's efforts, and we should be as polite, as non-aggressive as possible. So I think my definition of feminism is different. give a situation, and I am sure males would not handle the situation so well as a woman would do. So, I think let us not get into that who walks behind what, behind whom, but then I think women should work with men, that is it. That also means that men should walk with women, that is not a big deal.
Yours was a love marriage. Do you balance things well, and do you, if I may use the word, get along with the men in the family, including your husband?
See, I would certainly say that I am blessed.
Touch wood.
Whatever I am today is because of course, my mother, but at the same time I would mention two names. My father, Professor Ajit Mishra, who is no more, and my husband, Santosh Sarangi ji, who is my batchmate. I think these two men have done immense for me, and whatever I am today is because of them. I studied, I became an IS officer, largely because of the motivation, the support and the teaching that I got from my father. And thereafter, I always say, I could do many things in my life, in my career, as a politician, as an administrative officer, because of the support and the teaching that I got from my husband. My husband is my friend, philosopher and guide, and I'm very proud that I made the right choice. So I pat myself on the back many times a day.
A feminist with a difference is what you call yourself, and yet the credit for all that, all your success and wherever you are, goes to the men?
I wouldn't say that 100% to them, but yes, largely to them, because I always feel about myself, and I am sure women who are listening to me would also feel the same. See, we are basically home oriented people. Unless and until our home is in order, our family is in order, I do not think we would be able to deliver the way we want to outside home. So, I think it is very important to have everything in order, in place at home. So, I think if you ask me, home is my priority, family is my topmost priority. So, I am very careful about that part, and it says handle with care.
Why not IAS and why politics? There were reservations within the family, and what did your children say?
I wouldn't have come to politics had my husband and children not supported my decision. Yes, of course, it was my decision. I won't say it was my family decision. And they were aghast, because I was one person who was extremely proud of her job as an IAS officer. I loved my job, and I did my best wherever I was, and I had put in about 24 years. So, I think everything was set right in life. There was a lot of luxury, and what not was there, that was the question. So, everything was in order. So, I think the perfection of everything irked me, and I just thought I should go out into the open and take on challenges, and I wanted a bigger platform. And politics is the best way of rendering public service and contributing towards framing of public policies, and it feeds your soul in case your soul wants to work for the people, and I always wanted to work for the people. Politics connects me to huge number of people on daily basis, and I am extremely happy.
Quote unquote, from being a queen in the services, as some of your friends told you, to being a kind of a slave in politics, how does it work? How was the transition? How did you adapt?
No, I won't say I am a slave at all. I mean, this is the other way around. See, as an Indian Administrative Service officer, yes, of course, I got the best of postings. I can only say that we have to work within a framework. There are rules and regulations. And as far as politics is concerned, as I told you earlier, it's a huge platform. In politics, I have much more freedom. So, within the framework of my party, the guidelines of my party, I am free to move as I want to. Prime Minister Modi is the biggest source of inspiration for me. So, the ideology of my party and the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, I think these two elements have brought me into the fold of Bharatiya Janata Party.
Let me put it differently. From people waiting on you, now you kind of wait for senior leaders and wait to be heard.
It's not like that. This is a misconception. Bharatiya Janata Party is a party with a difference in the sense that it acknowledges talent. I would not have been sitting here as the national spokesperson of the party, as the state vice president of my unit, had this party would not have given me space or acknowledged my hard work or my capability to deliver. I don't think I wait on the leaders, senior leaders in Delhi, it's not like that. And in bureaucracy also it's almost the same. Bureaucracy also the senior officers are there, and I remember hours we used to wait for them. I think this is less of waiting here.
You said politics and the BJP give you space. Let me substitute space with a foothold. I think given your talent, given your expertise, given your experience in the IAS, you should perhaps have been in the cabinet rather than just be a national spokesperson. And there I would say they gave you a foothold but not the space you deserve.
See, the point is that I'm just 3.5 years old in the party, and I think we need to have patience and we need to have faith in the decisions of the senior leaders, and I'm sure the senior leaders must have thought something good for me. I have to learn also the ways of the party and the ways of politics, so to say. I have come from bureaucracy, and what is the hurry? I have tremendous faith in my senior leaders. They must have thought good for me and I would get the best.
And soon you will be a minister.
I can definitely not say that. The senior leaders are there, they would think for me.
During your IAS tenure, did you take on the powers that be? Which was the toughest call that you had to take?
Yes, there was. I was municipal commissioner in Bhubaneswar, and I remember I had been sent to Nagpur by the Urban Development Department of Odisha, and I remember suddenly at 4 o'clock when I was moving in Nagpur for some work, suddenly there was a call, and I was told on telephone that the mayor of the corporation was holding a press conference against me, and I was aghast. I said, what did I do? So he had all the corporators with him and he was holding a press conference against me. He probably somebody had told him that I had eaten away 65 lakhs in a light project. So that was a very tough time for me, very tough time. So once the mayor starts talking against you, and many of the corporators also joined him, then you start, and I was my age was less, I was junior, so I was very nervous at that point of time. For days on end, nights on end, I could not sleep properly.
But in later years, did you take on the powers that be? And did you challenge?
No, see, it's not a question of, I am aggressive. Of course, I am politely assertive. That's how I define myself. I hate being aggressive.
Any clashes with the political class?
See, there have been clashes in the sense that there have been differences of opinion with many of the ministers I worked with back home in Odisha. I was in Urban Development Department, I was Panchayati Raj Secretary, I was in Education Department, and every time I would get transferred. And wherever I was, God's grace, I used to become very popular. And then the minister would feel that, people were not going to him. So it was something like that. Then I would run up to him. I would tell him that, he was the boss. I would try to explain my position. I would always try to keep him at a very high pedestal. But insecurities are there. So I could not handle those insecurities of some men. That's it.
But in 2013, you were posted out thrice in 14 months. And you said you leave Odisha with a lot of pain. Take me through that.
I was district collector in Khurda district. Bhubaneswar is in Khurda. I was also the municipal commissioner and I was secretary in very big departments. And I must thank the state government. They gave me the best of postings, very challenging and so to say men postings, if we can say so. And I did my best, whatever ability that I had, I tried to work as per that. However, I was transferred thrice in a year, and that was quite a jolt. I was putting in very hard work, and I always thought the state government would appreciate my way of working, my thought, and they would give me a chance to be heard. And but somehow or the other, it did not happen. And then I just thought it was time to leave Odisha. And many of the seniors also advised me to leave Odisha. I was municipal commissioner for close to 4 years, and that is why we could do so much of work, because at that point of time the seniors trusted me. Then thereafter, 9 months, 8 months, 6 months, so this actually I could not agree to.
Why did that happen?
I think that the state government must answer. There was no reason why it should be doing. It should have done like that. And I was doing my best. The point is that, in those situations, the state government should call the officer and say what to do and what not to do. And there was nothing, no communication from the side of the state government. And suddenly I was transferred. So it was 3 times that I was transferred in a year. And then many of my seniors advised me to leave Odisha. And I think that was one of the best decisions that I took.
What did you do that angered or made the state government uncomfortable?
No, not at all. I did my job. Sometimes, if you sincerely do your job, it irks many people, remember. Yes.
So now that people in BJP are happy with you, are you not sincerely doing your job?
No, it's not like that. I mean, politics is different from bureaucracy, and I'm very happy in Bharatiya Janata Party, and we are trying to do many works together. But as a bureaucrat, if the minister doesn't understand your point of view and he refuses to kind of, appreciate, then it becomes slightly difficult. And I always felt that the chief minister should have understood the matter, but he was the one who was responsible for transferring me thrice.
How has it worked for you in politics? Have you been fighting a lone battle, a woman versus men kind of a situation?
Not at all. Again, I would say BJP is a party with a difference. This is one reason I came to the Bharatiya Janata Party. Of course, I was slightly scared when I came in, because I came from bureaucracy. So I was slightly scared in the sense that I didn't know how the people here would behave. We had heard that, there are hooligans in politics, and how would I adjust coming from that kind of setup. But believe me, right from day one in state politics Odisha, I never had the feeling that anybody misbehaved with me, or anywhere I have felt uncomfortable because of behavior of somebody. I never felt that. So I'm extremely comfortable, surprisingly. I mean, I never thought I would be so comfortable in politics.
What are the bitter lessons in politics that you have learnt? And is politics a dirty game?
For me, politics is public policy and public service. I don't get into the murkiness of politics.
But is it murky?
It is murky. Why not? I mean, it is murky. But it depends on you whether you want to get embroiled, you want to get caught into the trap. Don't get into that. You focus on public service works.
What have been the bitter lessons? Things you would like to forget, leave behind?
See, it is too early to say that. It's only 3.5 years. And in 3.5 years, I have, it's too short a period, batting of an eyelid. And I have become the member of parliament from prestigious Bhubaneswar seat. I am the, as I told you, the state vice president. So my hands are full. It's 15-16 hours a day. And I'm also learning in the process. Let me honestly tell you, I'm a new one. I'm learning in the process. So I have absolutely no bitterness so far.
Your father used to say, it is better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. How many times have you specifically lit a candle?
Every day, every moment I try to light candles. That's the answer. You need to motivate yourself on daily basis.
Any instances, any anecdotes?
Too many expectations from you. Too many expectations. And everybody would like you to be perfect. At home also.
But give me 1 or 2 anecdotes where you've had to light that candle and think of your father and say, okay, this is where I'm following.
See,
your footsteps.
yes, there have been. I mean, I won't say that there have been certain situations, specific. It happens on daily basis. Suddenly you find that somebody is bad-mouthing you behind your back. somebody very close to you. This is politics. Somebody is sitting with you now, and then about 2 hours later, the person has changed and person is talking against you. That point of time, if you have a thought, a very, I would say, a very well structured thought process, you survive, you motivate yourself. So in the morning, whenever I get up in the morning, early morning, I always tell myself, no, I will be positive today. So I think many of the situations where we need not react also to things, to statements, that's what I have learnt. I have become very patient now, and let me tell you, I never get angry now. I used to be very angry earlier, always getting angry, but now I don't get angry at all.
What has changed?
I think again I would say that this is meditation. I do a lot of meditation now.
Or you're lighting more candles than you ever did?
Maybe yes.
You are interested in interior designing. Has politics taken a toll on that?
Yes, to some degree, yes. But I do find time, my private space, my moments when I am with my family, with my my own, my own life, I would say. And I am very fond of reading. I am very fond of gardening. So I think these three things I focus on, and I love to be with my children and my husband.
How much time do you get?
I don't get time much. So it is basically quality time. Maybe a couple of days I am completely drained out, in the sense 15-16 hours a day, and then maybe a couple of hours here and there I try to squeeze out and I be with them. My biggest refuge is the company of my husband and my children. I love to be with them. I love to be at home.
But looking back, isn't it then better, or don't your children and your husband say, I wish you had remained in the IAS rather than taking the political plunge?
Not at all. In fact, they are extremely proud that I am here, and they see the satisfaction that I work with.
No, because you don't get time with them. That's from
No,
that point.
I mean, yes, of course. I mean, I am definitely much more busy than I was as a bureaucrat. As a bureaucrat, you have a certain number of hours that you have to work in. But here, it's almost 15-16 hours a day. But they are very proud of me, and they support me. And I don't think they have expressed that kind of feeling so far. Let's see what happens next.
What has happened to the housewives campaign, I too am Aparajita? Was it only a ploy during the elections?
Women had come at that point of time, and many women. And then they started this I too am Aparajita campaign. And that was a big support to me during the election. It was, of course, as we said, it was an election campaign. But these women are extremely good. They are still with me. And they said after the elections were over, they said they wanted to start this campaign. Since it contained my name, I too am Aparajita, I said, don't do that. Don't use my name. You can have a registered body of your own. So they, all of them gathered together, all these housewives, and they have registered a body called Ajita. So Ajita is working still. They are working very well in Bhubaneswar and beyond.
You were declared the best actor of Bhagalpur University. Would you act a small part from one of your plays for our viewers?
I can recite some lines which I did in one of my plays. I remember those lines of William Wordsworth. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude, and then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils.
One last question. What would you say to the younger generation today, IAS or politics?
You do what your heart wants you to do. Follow your heart. Be on the right path. Satmarg, as I say. Be positive as much as you can be, because that actually changes the texture of your life. And live, laugh and love.
And light a candle?
And light a candle. Don't curse the darkness.
Aparajita Sarangi, thank you very much. Thank you for your time and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you. My pleasure.